What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Lennox Lewis. Big up England, big up Lennox Lewis on Joshua's TKO of Wileen. He said, I couldn't really judge with the fight if he's back or not. The former two-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua had a big 2023. Of course, after losing back-to-back to Alexander Usyk, he has fought 3 times this year with 2 knockouts and 3 wins, okay? And former undisputed heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis is not convinced, at least with examining Joshua's most recent win, because the Hall of Famer felt Wileen was ill-prepared for the fight. He said, I couldn't really judge with this fight if he's back or not. He definitely looked good. He did what he was supposed to do, taking out a guy he's taken out before in the amateurs, Lennox Lewis told TNT Sports. He said, the guy didn't have any definition in his body. I don't know if he worked hard or was in training camp or whatever. I didn't see him punching or throwing any punches that connected because AJ looked good after the fight, like a movie star. Like he wasn't even in a fight. So I think the fight is good for his mental state, and everybody is saying he's back. But there's still a long road ahead. He still has to go up against Fury, Zhilei Zhang from China. That would be great as well. Those are the words of Lennox Lewis. And let me counterpunch. I think this was really harsh criticism from Lennox Lewis, but I mean, it's expected because I think Lennox Lewis is always going to have harsh criticism towards Anthony Joshua because he's going to expect a lot of stuff from him, you know, and we don't know if that's linked to any deep-rooted animosity or whatever it is, okay, with Lennox Lewis. We just don't know because Daniel Dubois did fight a guy that was also fat, out of shape, you know, I think was a tougher opponent with Jarrell Miller, an undefeated opponent, which was Jarrell Miller. But, you know, I seen him give Daniel Dubois a whole lot of praise without any criticism. You know what I'm saying? See, the difference between that fight and Joshua's fight was, okay, you had 2 guys, Otto Wileen and Jarrell Miller. They didn't look the best. You know, they did not look the best. However, they looked exactly like I thought they were going to look. I thought Jarrell Miller was going to do a lot more. But in that case, if Lennox Lewis is criticizing AJ for how Otto Wileen looked, he could have criticized Daniel Dubois for how Jarrell Miller looked. If that makes sense to anybody, because everybody knew Jarrell Miller was fat as shit. Them big ass double D, double E titties that he had flapping around from the top of his chest to underneath his armpits. Those were, you know, that was due to weight gain, you know, and then he ran out of gas. Okay, so at what point do you credit the person that had the flaw versus the person that won? You didn't do that to Daniel Dubois, but you did that shit to Anthony Joshua. I thought that was rather strange. You know, this is how the way he criticized Anthony Joshua, this is how he should have done the same to Daniel Dubois. Yeah, Daniel Dubois did what he's supposed to do. However, Daniel Dubois was in there with a guy that was 340 pounds. Okay, and I would like to see him in there with a much better conditioned Jarrell Miller versus the Jarrell Miller we got. We got the post-ex-drug cheat Jarrell Miller that ran out of gas. I would like to see if Jarrell Miller was in better shape to see if Daniel Dubois could still hold up or fold up. That's what he could have done, but he didn't do that, if you notice. So that makes me believe there is favoritism within for Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, you know, or harsh criticism intentionally towards Anthony Joshua just because he didn't have that same energy for Daniel Dubois. Okay, because I did the counterpunch on how he praised Daniel Dubois before, even though Daniel Dubois needed that fight, no doubt. But you know, you can't blame the fighter for how the opponent was, and I didn't like that. for you doing that. Yeah, he did say, well, he did what he's supposed to do or whatever. He looked like a movie star. Okay, I think that was sarcasm, honestly. I think that was sarcasm from Lennox Lewis saying, well, yeah, he looked like a star because he didn't get touched. Well, I mean, he can't help how Otto Wallin went in there. Now, I do agree with Lennox Lewis. Otto Wallin did look soft. He did. And it did make me think all the shit he was talking. Like, yo, why do you look like that? I can remember, I think he looked a lot better in the Tyson Fury fight than he did in the Joshua fight. I mean, physically better. But then again, everybody was in short notice. So, I mean, he should have prepared himself. However, there was nothing that he was going to do anyway. And as far as him getting beat before, there's a lot of people that AJ beat in the amateurs. Shit, he beat Zhilei Zhang. So there you go. You said, well, he still has Fury or Zhilei Zhang from China to deal with. Okay, Lennox, if he beat Zhilei Zhang, can't you say the same shit about what he did in the amateurs? And that'll be the way to go out. Oh, well, he already beat Zhilei Zhang in the amateurs, so that really ain't no big deal. He still got Fury to worry about. So you see what I'm saying? So I don't think that is a good enough excuse not to give Anthony Joshua credit just because Otto Wallin, wasn't where he needed to be, or he beat Otto Wallin in the amateurs. I think that's just a slick-ass way of not giving him credit. You know what I mean? In my own opinion. Because he beat Zhilei Zhang, but you put Zhilei Zhang as a much needed opponent for Anthony Joshua to face. But he's already done that, and that was the same case. Bars. Okay, so, him saying, I don't know if he's back or not, I think if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all in this case. Because him saying, oh, I don't know if he's back, and I don't know about this, and I don't know about that. I mean, he looked good, and it is not like Otto Wallin was a guy AJ used as a punching bag. It took him a few rounds to get Otto Wallin in there. And for the record, people, if you did spar someone a lot, you also know them like they also know you. Okay, so it wasn't like he just had this puzzle piece figured out with Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin is a tricky southpaw. He's still a tricky southpaw. He's never been a big puncher, and then I think that's a way of not giving credit to Joshua because he gave Tyson Fury what? Hell, right? He gave Tyson Fury hell for 12 rounds. So we don't talk about that, but I think that's the way to not give someone credit, especially if you may have something against them. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Lennox Lewis. Not convinced that AJ is back. Not convinced that was an ideal performance by Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.